Good morning. Are y'all ready? Very good. Well, welcome. And I'm Dora Ann Verde, like Kristin mentioned, and it is my honor to be serving as chair of the Trellis Foundation Board of Directors. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, this is my pleasure to welcome you to the Trellis Foundation's Higher Education Policy Summit. This is my third summit as a Trellis Foundation board member, and I always look forward to the discussion and the insight from all of our program participants, discussion leaders, and really just all the interaction that happens here at the various summits. There's a lot of relationships, I think, to be formed. A lot of our grantees are out there, so we look forward to meeting a lot of y'all. Even though the focus of each summit has been different, the broader themes of each of these summits are always aligned with the Foundation's vision. And that vision is post-secondary education must be accessible, affordable, and attainable for all Texans. This year, the summit will highlight mental well-being, a factor in student success that can affect any of us, regardless of income, race, gender, or age. This is one of the reasons the Foundation Board approved nearly $3 million in grant funding over the past 2 years to support institutions and projects that help us better understand student mental health needs and how to address them. And I think we saw this in action. I came in early yesterday and was able to participate in the convening that the Meadows Institute had along with their partners and some of the institutions. And I was pretty amazed with the work that is being done. So we're very gratified that through our funding, this is happening. So thank you, Meadows Institute, and all the organizations that were here yesterday. As a board member, I appreciate the opportunity to hear firsthand about many of the projects we first learned about as board members nearly 2 years ago. And I know that's why many of you are in the room today as well. One thing we know for sure is that we still need to go far in this work. So we need to go together. With that goal of working together, I'd like to recognize some of the attendees in the room today that will be critical to that process. And I'm going to start with the elected officials. And we have several that either are here or have signed up to be here. So I'll introduce them, and please stand. First of all, sitting to my right has been Representative Donna Howard from District 48. Thank you so much for being here. And I think we have a representative from John Bucci's office, District 136. Is Ashika Ganguly here? And if you're not here, I know that they will be here at some point. And I'm going to also introduce someone from San Antonio, where I'm from, and he came incognito today, he said, but he's an Alamo College trustee. Clint Kingsbury is here. I think he's also representing Tamusa, right, Clint? Very good. And I'd also like to acknowledge my fellow Trellis Foundation board members. I know y'all are critical to this process too, and I know you will be hearing from them today, throughout the day. They're either going to be doing panels, introductions, so forth, but if they would please stand and be recognized. I'm very proud to serve with them. And I also serve on the board of the Trellis Company, and I would like to recognize my fellow Trellis Company board members that are in attendance today. And I know some of them are the same because I'm a board member Dr. Richard Rhodes is a board member. Welcome, Wilson. So be recognized, and we'll clap for you all again. And our Trellis Company CEO, Deborah Cromie, is also here. I see you, Deborah. Thank you for being here. And I know I'm going to depart from my script here, Kristin, but I would be remiss if I did not recognize the tremendous staff that we have at the Trellis Foundation. So, Kristin, you and your leadership and the team that you've assembled are amazing. So I want y'all to also stand up if they're not running around already. And I know there's a lot of the folks also from Trellis Company that are here. I know, Deborah, under your leadership, we've done amazing things also. So please also stand and be recognized. So on behalf of the Trellis Foundation board and staff, I am grateful to all of you for being here today, especially for your willingness to learn and work with us toward greater access, affordability, and attainment for the students and family that we all serve. We look forward to learning along with you today and in all the good work ahead. Thank you and welcome once again.
Okay, at the risk of turning this into a mutual admiration society, if you'll indulge me, I do have to brag about the Trellis Foundation Board for just a moment. Several of our board members have bios in the program as moderators for today's summit, but all of them graciously agreed to accept roles on the agenda, and I'm thrilled that you all will get to know them a little bit throughout the day. This board played a huge part in supporting the work that we're here to learn more about today. The foundation has long recognized the connection between degree completion and wraparound supports for student success, but we started out funding scholarships and need-based aid, and also worked into things like academic coaching and support for academic success. But we began hearing from college presidents back in 2017 or 2018 that student mental health and well-being was among the top of their concerns. And there was also a sense of frustration that there weren't clear ideas about what to even start, how to start that work, or what to try first. This felt really different for us, and it was outside of our comfort zone, and we very much wondered if this work belonged more with healthcare funders rather than post-secondary education funders. But when we began talking about the idea of supporting student mental well-being in the context of the holistic supports that our strategic plan identifies as a priority, our board members brought their own insight, experiences, and encouragement to this process. They truly understood the intersections of student basic needs, mental health and well-being, and student success, and they encouraged us to move forward. I'd like to give a special shout out to the architect of the cohort of student mental health and well-being, Jenny Achilles, who stood up earlier, and you'll get to hear from her later in the program. Jenny identified a brilliant group of technical assistance experts to bring knowledge and experience to our higher education partners. We've been amazed by the resources and enthusiasm each of them has brought to this work over the last 2 years, and I want to call them out here too. JED Foundation is in the room. Active Minds, all right, and the Steve Fund. Yes. These friends have brought broad but practical support to our group calls in the learning community, to deep instructional consulting support for each of our grantee partners in higher ed. We can't say enough about their tremendous help. As we were pulling in these national partners, we knew we wanted a regional expert who has worked closely with Texas institutions to help lead this work. And immediately, we picked up the phone and called the Meadows Mental Health Policy Institute. Their deep understanding of the challenges and opportunities that higher education institutions across the state are facing while implementing mental health services and supports made them the ideal partner to spearhead this learning community. They have been superheroes in this work and have developed a curriculum and offered deep personalized implementation support to each of our institutional partners. A huge shout out to Jen Esterline and Tegan Henke and the whole team. And in particular, I'd like to invite Leilani Lamb to come. Oh, there go. Thank goodness. Leilani is here to join me before I turn this all into an Academy Awards acceptance speech. Leilani serves as the Director for Cross-Systems Policy and Practice for the Meadows Institute, and she and Jen Esterline were on the other end of the phone when we called in early 2022 and said, what would it look like if we acknowledged student mental health as a strategy for student success in higher ed?
If this is what winning an Oscar feels like, I think I could get used to it. Thank you, Kristin. And in the spirit of the Academy Awards, I also want to thank you and the Trellis Foundation because you really recognized the pressing need that students were facing, and you had the courage to dive in with an urgency in the wake of COVID-19. You recognize what instructors are seeing across the state in their classrooms every day, that students cannot succeed if they're not emotionally well. The data emphasizes this. A study by the Lumina Foundation and Gallup found that emotional stress and personal mental health were the top 2 reasons why students considered dropping their coursework. That far eclipsed cost, which came in 3rd. Other studies show that students with untreated depression are twice as likely to drop out of school and overall report lower academic achievement. The research and what we're hearing from the field really points to one fundamental truth that I think everyone in this room is going to walk away with today. Post-secondary mental health is a student success strategy. If we want to get these students to and through, if we want to retain and see them persist into thriving careers, we need to invest in post-secondary mental health.
So as you can see in the data, there was cause for concern. There is cause for concern, but there is a lot of cause for hope as well. And that's been bolstered by what we've learned from and seen in action with our grantee partners, including commitment from institutions willing to unflinchingly examine their own resources and capacities, students who are actively working to help their peers connect with services, creative partnerships, and openness to share within a learning community.
That openness to share was something that I really admired in Trellis Foundation's learning community. It is a learning community focused on learning in a field that is persistently marked by silos, where whenever we put in new programming and implement new supports, we're often recreating the wheel. When all of these institutions joined this learning community, they came with an openness to collaborate and share and really work together that I found so beautiful. Over the last 2 years, they have been pursuing unique projects that fit their own institutional contexts, but they have really opened up and shared challenges around how implementation is going. They've held space to celebrate each other and their successes, and they've really leaned on and learned from each other. Thanks to the contributions of these members, we have really torn down these silos, and we're so excited to share what we've learned with the field today.
So we have a few highlights gathered for you on the screen, and I'll start by just noting the community that was made up of the 2-year colleges in our learning community. So San Jacinto College, Austin Community College, Alamo Colleges, Victoria College, and Amarillo College and the Panhandle Partnership have made incredible strides serving the mental health and well-being of the diverse network of students they serve. We were really thrilled to see a variety of rural, urban, large, small. All of our institutions were minority-serving institutions, either HSIs or HBCUs, and they've launched first-ever counseling centers on campus, seamlessly addressed mental health and basic needs through strong case management, and created regional partnerships to expand access to critical services. All of them have broken ground on innovations that serve the needs of their students across regions and across campuses. So could we have our community college members in the audience raise their hands so we can see where you are?
And our four-year institutions, part 2, if we're looking at the slides. University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, Sam Houston State University, Paul Quinn College, University of Houston Downtown, and Angelo State University have all done incredible work fostering mental health and well-being supports in their campus communities. From implementing universal screening opportunities to launching robust new student orientations that center well-being and belonging, to leveraging student voice to combat stigma and offer peer supports. All of these institutions have supported student success through supporting their students. Could our four-year institutions please raise their hands?
So any of you that would like to connect with any of these partners that we've learned from over the last 2 years, feel free to either reach out in the room or let us know, and we're happy to connect you with the individuals that have been responsible for a lot of this work and for communicating with Leilani and the team about all of the great work happening on their campuses. So through all of this, Trellis Foundation and Meadows Institute have been tracking key learnings to share with the field, and I invite you to read more about the work that's been happening and the takeaways from the past 2 years. The QR code here on the screen will take you to the Learning Community website, which has copies of all of the learning briefs that the Meadows team has prepared, and we'll continue to add to that as we round out this particular section of the work. So that's how we got to today's focus on mental well-being and the policies and practices that support it as a component of student success in higher ed. I could not be more grateful to Jen, Leilani, Tegan, and the Meadows team, and so many of you in the room. Thank you so much.